Welcome to the Baron's Hideout Podcast. I'm your host, Dustin.
And I'm your co-host, Aaron.
And I totally forgot I I had the mask on my head. So went to Spirit Halloween because they had started to open up and they have a bunch of Killer Clowns from Outer Space stuff. So I got spiky. These are only $20. So I mean, oh, we got a follow. Thank you for the follows, guys. Today we're going to be talking about prom night. We're going to be doing a double feature. So what we're going to be doing is, since we are doing this live, and you can turn off that volume. Since we're doing it live, what we're going to do is that we're going to do the first movie because we're doing two tonight. So we're doing prom night, and then we're doing Wolf Cop. So we're going to go through all of prom night. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and do Wolf Cop. So, as everybody knows, we do these live now every Saturday, usually at 9, but we're doing a little bit early today just because we're doing 2. So if anybody does want to come in, participate and ask questions or
in the chat,
or whatnot, you guys can come hang out with us on our Twitch every Saturday. Today is a little different, like I just said, since we're doing 2 movies. But I'm really excited for this because these are 2 movies that I really enjoy. One, I guess, is slightly more serious than the other, but they're still both very campy and very crazy. Aaron, you've seen the remake of Prom Night, right?
I might have, but
That's the one that a lot of people have seen. They haven't really seen the original because we always do the originals first. So we're doing the 1980 Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis. And you've never seen Wolf Cop, I know that for a fact. Until today. Very wacky movie, but we'll definitely get into that once we actually get to that segment.
Yeah.
But before we jump into everything as usual, I'd like to go over our socials. And as everybody can see, or hopefully that you have seen, we have a whole new rebranding that was done by a very good friend of mine, Barely Lethal. He does a lot of rebrandings and emotes and stuff for a bunch of streamers and podcast people. So we got a bunch of stuff done, and I am super happy with how everything looks.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
It's like super top tier, honestly. It really is. Like everything stands out really good compared to what we had before. Is very minimalistic. I kind of just went on Fiverr and got somebody to make something just because I didn't want to have to pay a shit ton of money. But with Barely Lethal, I went above and beyond and paid a healthy amount of money to get everything done just because he does such high quality work and he's amazing. What do you think about everything, Aaron?
I think it captures the vibe of the show really well, and kind of tells like what it's all about and
yeah, exactly.
But no, I think everything came out really good. I'm extremely happy with it.
Yeah. Like our avatar and everything is like so much better now. I mean, obviously, yes, it's Ghostface, but he's holding a mic, and it's really funny, and it's got blood on it and everything. Yeah. It's really, really cool.
Not to like.
And the new Scream movie is coming out in January, so we got that to look forward to. We also have Candyman that we need to go see.
Yep.
We were, I think, supposed to do it today, but I worked late. You had stuff going on, so as much as I want to get to all the new releases as they come out, I think the only one that we're definitely going to have to see as soon as it comes out is Halloween.
Oh, Halloween Kills, of course.
But everything else, it's hard to get to the theater. I mean, if this was like a in-home release, I would have watched it, but I like to watch horror movies in actual theaters, so that's why maybe this week, before next podcast, if we have time, we can go and check that out. So, socials. If you guys want to engage with us even more, you guys can find us on Twitter, which is just the BHO_podcast. Also on Instagram, which is the Baron's Hideout Podcast, _podcast. And TikTok, I always forget, man. I need to write these down. I really do. I really, really do.
TikTok.
I always forget if it's the BHO_podcast or if it's the Baron's Hideout Podcast. The BHO_podcast is our TikTok, which is really just promotional reasons that were on there. And I uploaded a really cute video of my son going to Spirit Halloween for the first time this year, and it has a shit ton of views on it. So if you guys want to watch something cute with my 3-year-old son and walk around
Is that
dressed as
chocolate
Chucky,
pasta?
like loving everything, go check that out. We also have our Patreon, which is another way for you guys to support us even further. You can pledge $1 and you get all of the um, episodes early. That's video and audio formats. We do that the night before it goes out to the public. So we're doing this on Saturday, so you guys will get it tonight. And then everybody else would get it tomorrow on YouTube and, Spotify and whatnot. One thing I did do that I didn't want to do, but I think for reasons of us trying to push everything else, I made all of our VODs subscriber only. So if you guys want to watch the VODs on here and you don't want to have to go to YouTube or wait for them to come up the next day or wait for them to be uploaded to the Patreon, you guys can subscribe to us on here and you'll get them as soon as we're done streaming, and you can watch them forever.
You can also watch our previous episodes too.
Yes, exactly. And probably some of my drum streams that are on there too, which I think are going to be getting cut for a while because of my mixer I used kind of shut the bed on me. So that's going to be postponed for a while. But yeah, you can watch everything else leading up to this point that are on our VODs. We also have a Teespring store, which I haven't really been pushing that hard, and that's kind of for a good reason because we don't really have a lot of we do have a following. I would say we do, but we're not to the point to where everybody's like, "Yo, I need some merch.
I need a shirt with Aaron's face on it."
Yeah. And I will eventually probably want to get everything we have on there redesigned, but for right now, I think we're good where we're at. So if you guys do want a shirt or like a
mug or something,
or anything like that, you guys can check us out.
Those.
Which is just the Baron's Hideout the Baron's Hideout _ podcast at Teespring. Aaron, where can people find you?
You can find me mainly on Instagram. My username is at AROBHO. Nice and simple. It's AROWE BHO. For Baron's Hideout podcast.
Yes.
But yes, I'll post updates of the podcast and the shows the night of usually. But yeah, I also post pictures of animals, so if that's what you're into, give me a follow.
Yes. Please go give Aaron some love. And of course, we always like to support Liquid Death. Really cool update is their movie is officially out to the world, to everybody today if you have Amazon Prime. So if you guys wanted to watch their do I have it up here? I don't. What is it called? It's crap.
It was like some catchy ass name.
Oh my god, how come I forgetting it? I'm sorry, Liquid Death. Don't hate me. What is it? What is it? Yeah.
It was called Till Death.
Is it? It's just called Till. No, I thought it was something else.
Dead Till Death.
Dead Till Death. That's what it is. I knew it was something like that. So it's only like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that, I believe. But it's really, really good. I watched it before they released it. I actually have the poster somewhere and like the actual ticket that they had. It's really cool. It's a slasher. It's a horror movie, so go check it out, guys, and maybe we'll review that very soon. Maybe we can add that to this with the camp. Which this is what we're still doing. Is still doing camp. Is there anything else I'm missing? YouTube. So you guys can go and subscribe to us on YouTube. I want to try to push that a little bit more. We have about 13 subscribers on there right now. If you guys can go and just like our videos or even just subscribe, even if you don't want to watch them on that platform, that'll help us out a lot. There's one thing I want to start doing, like at least once a week. I kind of started doing it before, but I kind of want to change the format. Is just come out here live with you guys and just do like chatting sessions. Like Aaron, if you want to come over and do them, you can. But I'm probably just going to do them whenever I have a free time. Just come on here, and if anybody wants to come and chat about horror or whatever, it's not going to be a podcast or anything. It's just going to be just a hangout session, and just like shoot the shit. But I think that's pretty much all that we have for socials and leading up to the movie, unless there's anything you want to add, Aaron.
Yeah, I think we about covered it.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to Prom Night, 1980. Aaron, I guess I'll have you start.
Alrighty. So we're gonna jump right into prom night, and we start off in an old abandoned building. Looks like almost like a old school or some kind of warehouse or something. I don't know what it is. Maybe
I
an
think
office
it's.
building.
I thought it was a school.
That's my first thought, but
I could be wrong. I don't think they really ever specified what it was. It was just
it's
an
old and
abandoned
creepy.
building.
And it's in the middle of the day, but the building itself just gives off vibes that nothing good happens there.
Yeah, for sure.
But so we go over to four kids. They're playing a game in this abandoned building, so in which they all hide, and one of them is the killer, and the rest everybody it's basically hide and seek. But like
Yeah, I thought it was really weird. Like I was thinking back to like my childhood. I was like, did I ever play anything like that?
It's like Manhunt actually.
Like I've definitely played Manhunt, but I don't think I ever went to the extent that these kids are going, like making it like super like really creepy.
Oh yeah, we'll get
like really scary.
But yeah, so you got four kids. They're playing Manhunt essentially, but yeah, if the killer has to yell out, "The killer is coming." So we got Kim and her two twin. It's a brother and a sister.
Mm-hmm.
They're all two of them are twins. We got Alex and Robin. They're walking by this building. They see the other kids playing. Robin wants to join in, of course. She's the youngest. She sees other kids playing. Of course, she wants to join in. And then the others like, Kim says, "No, go just or no." She's like, "I'm just gonna go ahead." And so then Robin goes ahead and wanders under the building. Alex, who was our brother, also he's like, okay, whatever, go on, do your thing. So these are different times though,
Yeah.
But
yeah, no parents around or anything. This is supposed to be 10 years before or something like that, right? So this is like 1970, because I think the movie actually is supposed to take place in 1980.
Yeah,
I believe.
I think it was 6 years before the
6 years is what it was. So it's in the 70s. So nothing was very
different times. Have less to worry about, I feel like, but so her brother and sister end up ditching her. She wanders on into this building, hoping to play with these kids. So they end up seeing this kid named Nick hiding on a roof, who's presumably somebody they know, because he's like, "Shut the fuck up, go."
Yeah.
So she runs in, and the four kids end up ganging up on her. She's hiding around. She finds a place to hide. She runs into another kid, and they all come out of their hiding spots. They find out she's in there. They decide to gang up on her and start chanting "kill" repeatedly.
Kill. And it's really messed up.
Yeah, they're just all four of them just like surrounding her, following her. They're like going through different doors to like whenever she tries to run away, there's another one there. They end up cornering her. This poor girl.
It's like she's just going in there either she did know these people, or at least she knew one of them, and so she's just trying to fit in and have a good time and whatnot. But even like when she walks in there, she's very like nervous and like, where's everybody? And then she does like find people, or at least where people are hiding. She doesn't really interact with them other than when she finds Nick, because I think from what I was gathering, she's more friendly with Nick.
Yeah, but he was also still kind of a dick to her, the way like if I remember correctly, like he was
he was playing off really good, and then when they started turning around and then he started joining in with the other three, I think it was just because he's also probably trying to fit in, and like obviously it's his friends and whatnot, so he's just gonna go along with it. And your kids,
they don't know
there's always one person you follow,
Yeah, there's always that one.
Unless you're the leader, and then it's meh.
But anyway, so they corner her, and they end up getting her in front of a window, and they continuing to walk towards her, going kill, until she eventually has nowhere else to go but through the window, and ends up falling down on like I think it's like pallets or something like that, or And
And a bunch of glass and shit like
yeah, and
impales
like,
her.
it's pretty brutal to see a kid just fucking just fall out a
Yeah, because they're
window.
what?
I think it'd be like
12,
12,
right? They have
yeah,
like 11, 12.
because they're in high school and the next for the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
So
it's and they focus on like her laying there for a while too. I mean,
mm-hmm.
now you can definitely tell like the effects have aged pretty well, but there's also it's kind of like it's very cheap because this movie was, I believe, pretty cheap. We'll probably get into all like the financials and like how much it made and everything later on. But
Mm-hmm.
from what I remember, I think this movie was pretty low budget. I think this was even a lower budget than Halloween. I think I
Yeah.
could be wrong. This was, I think, Jamie Lee Curtis's.
Well, it was 2 years after Halloween.
I think
Right?
she did a couple movies in between. I think maybe like one or two movies in
Mm-hmm.
between. I think I could be
Halloween was
completely
what,
wrong.
78, right?
It was 78, yeah.
Yeah.
It's also really funny too because Jamie Lee Curtis always said that she was never a horror actress, but she starred in a lot of horror movies like The Fog, like a lot of John Carpenter movies and stuff.
And she's continuing to do
I
Halloween
think she
too.
was in like Midnight Meat Train, I think, or something like that. She's been in like the original. She's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good for her because I love all the shit that she's
She's a
in.
legend.
Yeah, literally.
So, yeah, Robin is dead, and the camera focuses on her, like you said, for a few moments, and it kind of, the way they, like, portray it, kind of, like, as somebody's, like, there watching her body
hmm
there, so it's, like, it kind of hints at, maybe somebody witnessed this thing. Um,
I like how like a lot of them too are like very like shit. What
yeah,
did we
oh,
just
yeah,
do?
they
And
realize
then
they fucked
who
up.
the hell is
Mm.
the big bad bitch?
Oh,
What's her name?
what's her name? Wendy?
Wendy. Yeah, like she's just like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, Nick at first he wants to, get help. He's like, "Shit,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
killed
yeah.
this girl," But then Wendy's like, "No, fuck you, dude."
I know,
She's
like,
like, "We can't say anything. We're just gonna leave and act like it never happened." They all,
hmm
agree, and some of them hesitantly, but like, this Wendy bitch, she's,
just like put yourself in their shoes right now. Like
mhm,
it,
I don't
if you were
know.
part of that Aaron, and you caused this to happen, what would you do?
I would
Even
have to
even
come
if she
clean.
was telling you to not do anything, would you
Um,
listen to her, or
No,
would you be
fuck
like,
no.
fuck no,
I'm
I'm
too
out of
honest of a
here?
person. I would come clean.
Yeah, like
It would eat me alive, honestly.
yeah.
I can't. I, you know.
You killed somebody,
Yeah, I couldn't
you
live with
know?
that shit.
Like, did you do it like on purpose and like really mean to? I don't know. I mean, Wendy probably, because I don't know what kind of like,
Psycho bitch she is.
yeah, or kind of like grudge she had against
This
Robin
girl,
or
yeah.
whatever. We don't really get a lot of backstory. We do throughout, um,
Throughout the movie,
but
yeah.
like right now we don't really get anything. But like everybody else was very like, whoa, we need to
Like in
we need to
shock.
do something about this, and Wendy's just like, no,
Yeah.
sorry, we need to swear to not tell anybody about this, and they're all just like, yeah, okay, sure. It's just like I couldn't, dude. Like I'm
Yeah.
with you, man. I would have to. I would
I
have
couldn't.
to. I mean, you're young, so you wouldn't really get into trouble. You
Probably
might
go to
get a little bit
juvie
of
or something.
something depending on like
Slap in the wrist.
yeah,
Or
like your parents would definitely
be
chew
killed.
you out, but
Yeah.
I
But
don't know what kind of consequences you would get for it was kind of indirect. It's not like someone pushed.
yeah, but they still
So,
caused it.
yeah.
But yeah. So then they all agree to not say anything, and ride
Mhm.
off on their bikes. And then once again, we get that like camera angle that's kind of like portrays it as somebody was watching the whole time.
Yeah.
And um, so yeah, and then they're riding away. Unseen person sees them ride off. But later that evening, Robin's father, um, who he was a sheriff, I believe, right? Or he's part of the police or something like that, if I remember correctly.
I don't think it's the sheriff. I think it's the principal.
Oh, that's right, Mr. Hammond.
Yeah, because
Um,
it's Jamie Lee Curtis's sister.
That's right. Okay, but yeah,
It's so funny to see Leslie Nielsen in like sort of a serious role.
yeah,
You know,
right.
because like you just know him for comedy and everything. But he
Mhm.
does a really good job in this movie, to be
Oh yeah,
honest.
but yeah, so they're at the scene as the police. Robin's father is there, and they sorry. They think that Robin is like the victim of sexual assault, or
Yeah,
like somebody raped her.
it's
And then,
really it's
and they
it's
kind of just
so
brush it
weird
off,
because
honestly.
like the even like the cop, I think it's either the detective or the sheriff, like he's like already like in his head, like he every time we see him he's like talking in his head,
Yeah.
and it's really funny, and he's just like, who did this, what caused this, oh it was this happened, no she died because of this, what is the lead on this, and then he
Having
starts talking to other
conversations with
people.
himself, and
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
it almost makes it seem like the movie for sometimes that's based on like his point of view from the movie, just because
Yeah.
the way it goes into his like thoughts. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and it's kind of like two movies in a way because of like,
Because you get two sides of the story.
yeah, and also like with when you're with like the school, it's kind of goofy,
Laid
kind of
back, and
serious. But when you go to the sheriff, it's like it's more serious, and it's like,
he's always at a crime scene or something.
yeah, it's like they were trying to do two movies in one or something.
I mean, it worked though. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it a lot.
yeah, it's definitely a movie that you can watch multiple times and not get sick of.
But,
I mean, it takes a while for things to really start kicking off. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like it takes a while. It takes like an hour into the movie to when things start getting kind of
Well,
crazy.
I
But
think it
it's
builds up nicely to it.
you get a lot of character building. You really understand the
Like the
friends.
situation and the people.
Yeah, and you really
It
start
prepares you
feeling
for what.
bad for like when things start going south.
Yeah. But it kind of gets you close with everybody
Yeah,
before.
I like it a lot.
So.
Compared to the remake, this movie is by far way better.
Yeah. But yeah, so they just jump to conclusions. They assume they know who killed this girl, and
Yep.
so they go off to question them. And then after that we cut to 6 years later.
We do.
Would you like to take over? Do you want me to keep
Sure,
going?
I can keep going. So yeah, we're at 6 years later, and we pretty much reconvene with the people from the beginning of the movie. They're just older now, so you're with Robin's family, and they're at her grave dropping off flowers, and I believe Jamie Lee Curtis's character and her mother, I think, are talking about prom night, or and they're trying to figure out like, hey, did anybody ask you? Are you going or whatnot? And she kind of just like brushes it off and it's just like whatever. Which is kind of funny because she's kind of playing the same character that she was in Halloween, kind of like shy and like, I don't really want to do anything. I don't need to go.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that was that the prom as well.
What is it?
I think
Sorry.
I think I think in Halloween they were also talking about the prom.
I think so.
So it's pretty funny.
Maybe it was like an ode to.
Yeah,
to
maybe. I mean,
reference
John
Halloween.
Carpenter had nothing to do with this movie. I believe. I could be completely wrong about that, but I don't think he has
Probably
any
not.
development in this. And then we start getting these weird calls from this. We don't really see who it is, but we see a hand. He has a phone. He's got a book, and he starts calling all of the kids from the beginning of the movie. So we got Jude, who was the first to be called. And as he's talking to him, he's like, I think he says like, your time is up, or like
I'll
he's
see you at the prom.
yeah, I'll see you at the prom, and a lot of like really creepy things, and sounds like he's using like a voice changer or something, whatever it would have been back then. But as he's calling people, he's checking them off.
Yeah, he's like with red markers to cross.
Yeah.
Classic like hit list.
Yeah, so like
Fashion.
Jude gets that, and then she's on her way to school, and then randomly gets picked up by this guy named Slick.
Flick.
So it's like I don't remember his real name. I just called him Slick.
I think that's all they call him.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just in like a shag van really, and I didn't know this guy was this short until we see him later. I thought he was like a pretty like normal averaged height dude, but he's actually really short, and
I
he's
was like kind of a geek too.
yeah, and like
he's,
he's
like, a
super
stoner.
flirty, and he's like, yeah,
got
well they call me
game.
Slick, and he's like, for reasons. She's like, okay, and for some reason she's like, yeah, sure, I'll go in the van with you, and we'll go to school and whatnot. I don't know who you are. I mean, if this is during prom time, how does she not know who this person is? Like, did he get transferred to the school like this right now or whatnot? Because it seemed like this guy is new,
Yeah.
or maybe he's from a different school, and
He's a dropout.
I don't know. He could have been a dropout, maybe. I don't know what it was like back then with you having to, like not recommendations, but the requirements for you to have someone to go to prom with. Because I know when I was going to prom, it had to be somebody
Yeah,
from,
get paperwork and shit done, and like,
yeah,
that'd be from certain school. That'd be from the school, or like from certain schools.
yeah. It could have, for me, it could have only been from my school or one other school that was nearby me, and it couldn't have been anybody over the age of 19, I think. So, I mean, of course everybody jokes like, "Oh, I'm gonna go take a teacher to the prom and whatnot." So it's like, no, don't do that, guys. Don't do that. So yeah, that's our introduction to now 18, Jude. Then we get another call from the same guy. He calls Kelly, and Kelly's like freaking out. It seems like she may have got a call from him before because she tells her boyfriend Drew about it. And I think he also has a comment. It's like, oh no, it's just like some dude from school, and it's like whatever. Just ignore it. And she's even like trying to find him. Like the front door opens and makes a noise, and she's like, Drew, is that you? And she's like all like sketched out.
Yep.
But he's like, no, your back door was open. I just came through. She's like, oh, okay. And they just kind of dropped the whole thing about the door being open. Me, I would have been like, you need to go figure out why this door is doing what it's doing.
In my fucking house right now.
Yeah, exactly. So she now goes to school with Drew, and then they call him Nicky, but his name is Nick. But Nicky gets a call, but before he gets that, his dad comes home, who I think he's the police officer, right?
Yeah.
So so the sheriff is Nikki's dad. So that's another connection we have in there, and he's like talking about the prom also, and like saying like, I don't know, talking about his appearance, I believe, or whatever, and like talking about girls, and he's also saying like, I think Nikki was saying, well, I'm trying to like, dump Wendy because he wants to be with
some other girl's gonna put out.
Yeah,
her name was it
he's with Jamie Lee Curtis. So whatever Jamie Lee Curtis's name is. I have it in here.
That's Wendy, isn't it?
Is it Wendy? I don't know. There's a lot of characters in here, guys, and I watched this last week, so I'm getting myself confused. So just bear with me. But whoever.
Oh, wait, no, Wendy's the bitch. Sorry, that's gonna bug me now. Kim.
Kim. Okay. Solid names now. Kim. So yeah, he's going out with Kim, who is Jamie Lee Curtis, or trying to, and he's trying to get rid of Wendy, but she's not having it because it's close to prom. He wants to be there with prom, but the only reason why we kind of like get a little bit more info on it because
I'm pretty sure Wendy and Kim have beef.
Yeah, and also Nikki and Kim are both already prom queen and prom king. So that's one reason why she's like, okay, well, you can do this for the night, but I'm taking you home. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
So, as Nikki's walking out with his dad to go to school, the phone's ringing, and then Nikki doesn't answer, and his dad's like, "Why aren't you going to answer?" It's like, "Oh, it's probably just Wendy, and just gonna leave her alone, whatever."
Yeah.
And then, as the guy, like I said, he's checking off names, but he doesn't check off Nick because he never spoke to him. So, I don't think we get any other.
His dad's like kind of like off-put because they went to go question, or like that guy that they went to go question, he got loose.
Yeah.
And I think they talk about that too.
Yeah, that's actually the next part.
Oh, okay.
I wrote a flashback to a guy getting burned.
Merch. His name's something Merch.
So it must have been the dude that the detective is talking about now.
He was like the local pedophile.
Yeah. So his name is Leonard, and apparently he was it in a mental institution, or was he actually locked up?
It was a mental institution.
So he was there, and then he somehow broke out. And so the detective once again is in his own head talking about like, okay, now he's out, so he's going to be going after these kids. Like he already knows, like it's going after the kids from the beginning. It's like, how does he know that already?
You get that instinct.
He's just like, I'm on it. So he's already getting like people lined up to like go and make sure that they're not at the school or they're at that he's at the place where Robin died and whatnot, and just like scouring the whole like town.
Mm-hmm.
And then he finally, I believe he calls Wendy, and I think Wendy answers, but I didn't write it. I just said that Wendy gets the call, but I think that she does answer, and she thinks it's Nick, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh well, I don't know why you're sounding like this or whatnot." And then I think her mom comes in and says, "Yeah, it's just Nick." And then we cut to the school where there's a lot of flirting going on.
I know, right?
Like the hallways are filled because it's everybody going to like their lockers and everything. And there's this one really annoying guy who I just want to punch in the face, and he also has a unibrow. But that's I'm not judging looks. I'm just saying that he just looks like an idiot, and his name is Lou,
Fucking Lou.
and he is very gross. Because he starts like talking to Kim,
He's a
really,
school bully.
yeah, like really nasty, and just like flirting and like saying gross things, like he's gonna do things to her and like whatnot. It's very very gross, and you just want to punch him immediately as soon as you see him.
Yeah.
And then I think we cut back to the abandoned building where they discover a new dead body. And the doc and the detective are saying like, "This is him. He's back, and we need to keep this quiet. We can't let anybody know." It's like classic case of any horror movie when there's like a authority or anything like in the mix. They're like, "No, no, 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 don't say
This guy.
anything." And
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah.
know
Keep
who
it
this
local.
is. Don't let anybody know. We cannot let this go out. It's prom. We can't let anything happen right now. I love how everything is like can't let anything happen because it's prom.
Yet more shit happens.
Yeah,
Every time.
it's like why if it's prom and you know that there's a lot of people, you should totally say something, and just so nothing happens
Yeah,
to
right.
other
So
people.
people are gonna be on the excuse me, be on the lookout,
Yeah, and like
or like to at least just be more cautious.
what if this guy isn't going after the people you think they are and it's
and
somebody
then you're
else?
focusing on the wrong thing, and
Yeah, it's just like it's
some of these
very
guys shouldn't be
stupid.
cops.
And then
And
we
then that's when they go up to merch, right? And they go to question them, right?
dude,
Or am I still getting ahead of myself?
you might be getting ahead of yourself because I have it. Kim goes into like the theater room where they pretty much go to rehearse their
Oh,
the prom.
walk on the prom.
Yeah, the actual
dance.
prom.
Yeah.
So she's in there just like dancing away, and then Wendy, the little bitch, hiding behind a curtain, watching her dance, and then it scares the hell out of her. And I think Nick comes in as well. And then they don't not really much happens there other than like some bickering and her saying nasty things. Well, sort of nasty things to Kim, but not really. But it's a lot of backhanded stuff, and
Yo.
Nick is like trying to defend Kim and whatnot, and just telling Wendy to go away. And then we cut to Leonard with a grad. It's is it the yearbook? I believe he has a yearbook of all the people of the school, not just the four kids, but he's like cutting up pictures of each one of them, which is
Yeah.
very creepy.
Yeah.
And I can let you take it from here for a little bit if you want, Aaron. I just think that whole scene because they focus on it so much, and it's very slow when he's cutting it too, and like he's
Yeah.
like really trying to like I don't know. It's really gross.
Mhm. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little out of place over here. Yeah. So that's Nick and Wendy.
There might be
sorry.
more stuff for. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about Kim's brother Alex,
Yeah.
who is also
'Cause-
getting into a lot of shit with Lou and
Yeah. 'Cause
everything.
He fights them and he gets jumped by Lou and his gang when he defends his sister when he's like he has the ski mask on. Remember?
Yeah. It's just like I don't know why I don't have any notes with Alex in here. I do later on, but he's kind of a big part because like
He is.
I think he's younger than Kim.
A little bit. I think he's like a year under her or something.
And like he's like always protecting her, and we find out later that obviously, well, we kind of already knew that their father is the principal of the school, so
Yeah.
like
So Lou ends up getting suspended
Hmm.
after that whole thing.
Yeah.
And but yeah.
Yeah, that's the next thing that happens, right?
Yep. Yeah, and then
In the cafeteria.
yeah, so yeah, he's fucking with her. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do things to you," and he's just scaring her. He's got a ski mask with no mouth on it.
Like, okay, first of all, okay, I understand this is a movie, and this is in the 80s, but I imagine anytime if someone's in your school wearing a ski mask, why is he not arrested?
Yeah,
Why
right.
isn't like a teacher or some
Well,
sort
also,
of
yeah,
person there getting this person out of here? You tell me people can just roll up in there whenever they want with a ski mask and just go to school and sit down and like start
yeah.
taking notes in their class?
I guess
Nowadays, fuck no.
oh yeah, like I said, different times.
That's
We've
crazy.
had so many school shootings and shit at this point in time. At that point, there probably hadn't been really any.
Yeah, crazy man.
But yeah, so then Alex steps in. He tries to defend her. He gets beat up.
Poor Alex. Like he didn't
He
do
gets like
anything wrong.
sucker punched in the back too. That shit looked like it hurt. Um, but yeah. So like they end up in the principal's office, which is his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Lou gets suspended. And ends up walking off the grounds. Wendy tries to talk to him
Dude,
about their plan.
fucking knew from the beginning
Well, I think we missed something too.
that they were in it with the get together. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Aaron.
But Wendy tells Kim at one point, she's like, it's not who you go to prom with, it's who you take home that night, or something
Yeah.
like that. She says, tries to tell like, oh, you guys aren't gonna last, and because she's
Yeah.
gonna try and steal him. What's his name? Fucking
Nick.
Nikki from
Yeah. It's
her,
like what the
so.
fuck?
But so then Wendy catches Lou on his way out, and they're talking, and they talk about come up with this like plan.
Yeah.
She wants to break them up, and but oh well, she tries to talk to him, but anyways, sorry. When
No, I think is this when when the detective talks to Leonard now?
I think so.
I think so. That's what I have next. So
Okay,
dig
yeah,
deep
mine
into
was
that.
like a little early.
That's fine.
But yeah, so anyway, the Leonard Murch, the local pedophile, piece of
This
shit,
guy.
this fucking guy. The police go to question him, because they assumed he, he escaped from a mental hospital first off.
Yeah.
And then he held a nurse hostage, and he's got a history of like, diddling kids.
Yeah.
But
Fucking sicko.
so of course they're gonna assume it's him, but so they go to question him, and they suspect it was him, but that killed Robin.
Yeah.
So when they go to question him at his apartment, he ends up fleeing, and so they don't get time to talk to him, but they end up leading him on a high-speed chase, and his car ends up sliding off the road, and then he ends up exploding, all flames.
What is up with what is up with all like
The
this
fucking
isn't the first
explosions.
time. Like later on in here we get another like exploding car. It's like this director or like
I think
photographer.
Michael Bay secretly did
Yeah,
this.
like I don't know, man. I mean, I like watching cars explode too, but two in one movie?
Right? But yeah, so he ends up into a ball of flames, and he ends up horribly burned and somehow like surviving. But so they put him in. Oh no, it was like a regular hospital before, because then he goes into the mental asylum after it
Okay.
burns. Yeah.
This movie's got a lot of shit going on. Like
Yeah.
I feel like every single movie we've been doing lately has so many different like backstories and like plot twists and turns and shit. I'm just like, what?
It's like,
What's
where
going
am
on?
I? Yeah.
What's going on?
So it's like when you try to take notes, it's like because like some of this stuff is supposed to be happening at the same time. So
Yeah.
like in the notes, it looks like it's like this happened and then this happened. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
sometimes.
Same. And I'm trying to like
I'm trying to
revisit it in
remember it,
my head. Like
So-
we're gonna have to do something that maybe not for them to see, but for us when we're doing the movie,
script
just have
almost.
it like in front of
Oh,
us
yeah.
playing or something.
just so we can to go along with the.
Yeah. I don't want to do it for you guys to see because we'd get in trouble for like just showing free shit. But yeah,
Yeah.
for us maybe at some point,
That would be
just to keep us on track a little bit
yeah,
more.
Just keep the volume down with like the subtitles or something.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So he ends up at a mental asylum. He's got really bad burns, and and they determined him criminally insane. He's deemed mentally unfit to stand for trial for Robin's
Wow,
murder.
you have a lot more notes than I do.
um,
Way to go, Aaron.
thanks. But yeah, so he ends up escaping from the hospital, though, holding a nurse hostage, and then the sheriff, he thinks that he's gonna head back to town where everything happened and try and kill more people, or rape more people, whatever the fuck he does.
Yep.
So they end up finding the dead body of a nurse, the nurse that he was holding hostage. And then Dr. Fairchild, the psychiatrist from the asylum, and Mr. McBride, or Officer McBride,
Yep.
are there, and they think that he may be coming back to town for revenge because of what they did to him. You know, they caused him a fucking...
I mean, to be fair,
I'd be a little
would
pissed too, but, like, he's a fucking piece of shit. You're a pedophile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, fucking pedophiles, dude. It's sick just to think about, and it pisses me off.
There's a lot of, even like right now, there's a lot of that nasty stuff going on, like just in the real world and everything. It's really, really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie, they definitely picked a pretty heavy topic to talk about, you know, or pick a specific type of like person, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so and then I think we go back to, well, yeah, that was after Wendy and Lou talk. He says he'll take care of it.
Yeah.
He'll break them up. He'll do something.
Yeah, they're at like some kind of
they're like at a fucking restaurant or something, like a
yeah,
drive-in.
yeah.
Because she picks him up in her convertible, and he's like, "Oh, nice whip." She's like, "Ah, it gets me around." So,
yeah, it's just like freaking spoiled brats, man.
I know, right?
Fuck your
And then for
parents.
some reason, I have the part where Slick picks up Jude all the way down here, but he ends up asking her to prom, and because I think it's another one situation where, like I said, this is supposed to be happening while they're having that conversation.
It's okay. So the next thing I have written down is when Nick and Kim go on a walk, and they're talking, and then Nick brings up something about Robin, and like he wants to tell her, but he's like, I fucking can't. And obviously Kim has no idea what really happened to her sister.
Yep.
She just knows that she died, and it's just really weird because like even the parents aren't really like
that concerned, it
like
seems. Besides,
out thinking like, oh yeah, this guy did it. Like Kim doesn't really mention anything. The only thing that we have is that we know that Kim's mother is like freaking out because it's prom and that she really wanted Robin to be part of this, so she's like upset about that, and that's
sad.
I can understand that, but they're not like seeking or like going to the police to be like, hey, this guy's back in town, can you go and get him?
Yeah.
No, the police are doing it themselves, which I mean is good that they're doing that, but like just knowing that the parents are just kind of like at, I don't know if I want to say at peace, but they've definitely
accepted it almost.
They know like, oh, well, it's life and it happened, you
She's
can't
not
really
coming
change
back,
it, you know. So it's just, that's one weird thing to think about.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I think we go to the locker room, right? After this, or
Yes, that
Okay.
yeah, with the groundskeeper
Yep.
incident. Yes.
So, anyways, yeah. What is it? Wendy, she like, fucking, she's going to the locker room and she like shows her titties or her ass or something to the fucking groundskeeper.
Yeah, her friend Vicky.
Vicky, that's who it was.
Yeah, they're just walking out, and I forget what the
just,
guy's
like,
name
harassing that
is.
poor guy.
And they're like, hey, and then and then they moon him, and like you're thinking like, this is the guy, this is the killer, this is the dude.
Right.
No, that's what you're thinking right now, because like even like earlier on, I think like
They kind of like hint at like
yeah,
that might be
something
him.
that he's a little off.
Shady, yeah. But yeah. So then they end up going to the locker rooms after their tennis practice, or something like that.
Yep.
And she ends up finding, this is Wendy, by the way. She finds her yearbook photo torn from a yearbook. Sound familiar? And it's hanging on the front of her locker. So she's just kind of like, what the fuck? Somebody's messing with me. And but then when Kim and her friend they're alone, they hear a loud, like a big banging noise along
Yeah,
with a
they're like, what
clatter.
the fuck is that?
Um, so and they end up going to check it out, and they find a mirror that's been smashed. Um, so they look around the locker room. They go back to the mirror, and they notices a piece, like a big shard, almost like a knife size, like piece just missing. And they're like, "Oh, okay, whatever." They don't. They're just like, "Oh,
Like,
somebody."
whatever. I
Yeah,
guess
they don't
someone just
think
wanted
anything
it.
of
Whatever.
it. But um, anyways, Jude and Kelly, they end up finding their yearbook photos inside their lockers, as well as Nick. Um,
Yep.
so,
Which is weird that he did Nick, even though he never, or whoever this may be, never really talked to him. And I think that since he never got a hold of him, he would have did something a little bit more drastic
yeah, right, to get the
to,
message through.
yeah, not just the picture. I mean, the picture's creepy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
And the fact that it's inside the locker.
Yeah, so it's like someone either has a key to it or knows your combination.
hmm
It's pretty creepy, and who knows what else they have, you know?
Yeah. But later that night, we cut to Wendy, and she's being picked up for the prom by the one and only Lou.
Yep.
Fucking Lou. So Mr. Hammond, who's the principal, is the chaperone. And Alex, who we haven't seen too much of
Not
at
since
this
the
point.
fight.
Yeah, since the fight, is actually the DJ for the prom. So
Which they
he's
did have a rehearsal for a little bit before, but it's not really that.
yeah,
There really
they
wasn't
do.
much that happened. They just their is it
Yeah,
the gym teacher? Is it
yeah, I think it's the gym teacher or something like that,
the
like the coach or
drama
something.
teacher or somebody
But they're just like setting up the prom, and then Alex and was it Wendy? Okay, I keep getting the names mixed up. But Alex and his and the prom queen, they do like their rehearsal for the walking down the
yeah.
catwalk and all that stuff, and but yeah, so we're it's prom night. Um, Lou puts his suit on, and she's
Where's your
giving him
suit?
shit. Yeah, where's your suit? I
Yeah,
just got
it's
it
right
in the
here.
trunk.
Yeah.
I got it. But he's such a douchebag.
One really cool shot that I really liked, which I know what they were trying to do, but it didn't really pay off the way I think they wanted it to, is when Kim's getting picked up and we know it's Nick out front, but like how it's like shot when the parents are leaving, they're like, okay, well Nick's coming to get you, whatever, and like they're kind of talking, and Kim's getting ready,
Yeah.
and I know she's in the house with Alex. I think they get a call, but I don't remember for sure. But as like the parents are leaving to head to the school, because obviously they're going there because like he's the principal and they're gonna go
Yeah.
to chaperone it. But we see a car in like it's all black. It's just shadow roll up, like they're trying to make it ominous and creepy, but like it's Nick.
Yeah.
And like even like his silhouette, it's like that's Nick. So what are they trying to do? And are they trying to make it seem like the parents don't know that Nick's coming to pick up Kim, but they know that Nick's coming to pick up Kim? Are they trying to make it seem like this is a killer? Whatever. I just think that whole sequence right there is very weird.
Yeah.
Because even when he goes and knock on the door, they kind of make it kind of
Like shady
creepy.
almost.
But
Yeah.
it's like we know who it is. So go back and watch that part. Like it's like about like 2 or 3 minutes of the film, and it's very like, what are they trying to do here? Like I respect what they're trying to do, but it just didn't. I don't think it
Doesn't
paid
make
off
too
that they
much
wanted
sense,
it
yeah.
to.
But yeah. So we're at the prom. Everyone's having a good time. They're all dancing, enjoying the disco music. And
The detective is out there at the prom too, which
oh
is
yeah,
funny.
the
And
detective's
he's oh my god, this scene, dude, I gotta talk about this
Yeah.
scene.
there. Go for it.
So he's there. Once again, we're in his head a little bit. But okay. This guy's really old, all right? Like he's got to be at least in his like late 40s, maybe early 50s. And we get a close up of his we know we're looking through his eyes. He's just staring at a girl's ass. I like they're 18, so like well, presumably they're probably 18. So yes, they're of age, but it's like
It's still weird.
dude, why? Like, what are
You're a
you
cop.
doing? Yeah, it's just like, that's so gross.
He's drinking too and shit.
Yeah, it's like, why are you staring at an 18-year-old's ass, man? It's like, what the fuck? Just that kind of like got me very like, ugh,
Yeah.
a little bit. And then I think after that, Kim sees Wendy in the crowd because like now everybody's there all dancing, but as she spots Wendy, she runs over to Nick, and then they just have a random fucking dance. I don't know if it was a battle or if it was just them dancing together to show off, or if this was like a king and queen moment, and then everybody just had to watch, and then because it goes on for quite a while, like
Yeah.
it's actually like Jamie and I don't know Nick's actor's name, but they were doing that. I don't think that'd be stupid if it was stunt doubles like
Yeah. For
dancing.
dancing.
But I imagine it must have took a lot to do because I'm not a very good dancer at all, and that
Yeah.
would have took me like a year to get down.
Yeah. Right.
But it was like at least like 5 minutes it feels of them just dancing, but they don't just stop. Everybody starts dancing with them, and they start dancing again. So it
Turns
goes
into
on to like a 5 to 8 minute this dance segment, which is kind of cool, like seeing everybody
it just kind of
vibing and whatnot.
sets the mood, the
It's like
vibe.
this is a prom, okay.
Everyone's having a good time.
Um, and then we cut to the bathroom, which we didn't really go on this a lot, but Kelly is nervous because Drew wants to have sex with her, and she doesn't know if she's ready. And then everybody's always like, well, if you don't do it with him, he's just gonna find somebody else.
Someone who will, yeah.
So right now, this is, I don't know if I time stamped it. I did. Okay, so leading up to this, okay, this movie is like, what, an hour and a half, right?
About that, yeah.
Things don't stop popping off until an hour and 3 minutes. So I time stamped it. So we're leading up to it right now.
We're getting there.
So Kelly's in the bathroom. I think she's talking to Kim at this point. I don't think Wendy is there. I think it might be, yeah, it has to be Kim, Kelly. I don't think Jude's there. We know where Jude is.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they're talking and whatnot, and she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go and confront Drew and get this over with. Like, she's making it seem like it's like
Yeah.
a task that she has to do, otherwise things are gonna fall apart with her and Drew.
Yeah.
And then
They end
when
up leaving together, like going to, like leaving the prom to go to the locker room, right?
yeah, and then like Wendy leaves to go hang out with Lou, and they start dancing and whatnot. It's like, okay, well, whatever. So now Kelly and Drew are alone, and things start, they're going, they're feeling each
They're
other
making
out,
out.
and Drew's maybe pushing a little too hard, but Kelly stops. She's like, no, I can't do it. And then Drew's like, seriously? He's like, well, I know someone else that will. And this fucking storms off, and I think he even like calls her like a bitch or whatever. It's just
Yeah,
like, are you
something like
kidding
that.
me, dude? Like, go fuck yourself, man. Like, this girl is crazy about you, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't know how long they've been together, but like, dude, seriously, you just gonna up and leave and just go have sex with somebody else?
High school, man.
Like, it's just nuts to me that people do act like that.
I know.
And then, as Drew leaves and Kelly is getting herself fixed to go out,
I don't know, he left her like half naked on the fucking bench, too.
Yeah.
Just...
Kelly's just, doing her thing, and we know at this point something bad's gonna happen. She's in a room by herself, it's dark, she's half dressed, and we're really focusing on her, and then someone comes and slits her throat with, guess what?
a piece of mirror.
The piece of the mirror. And I put this as technically the first kill, because I don't really consider Robin
Death really a kill.
a kill or anything like that.
Because
So
that just starts the whole thing,
yeah, so this is timestamped for me at an hour and 3 minutes.
The first kill of the movie.
And it's just all downhill from here. So it's a lot of build up, but it's totally worth it, guys. If
Yeah.
you like good character building and getting to know people and really hate others, this
enjoy
is
this
a
movie.
very good movie.
There is good character development.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we see Drew. What does he do? Goes to pick up another girl, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, all right." And now Wendy's kind of confronting Nick and saying like, "Hey, like I'm gonna, pretty much take you home and whatnot, and like you need to know that I want to be with you, and pretty much like fuck Kim and whatnot." And Nick's just like, "Nah, I'm not having it."
Yeah.
And then I think it's
Jude and Slick.
well before that, is it Kim's mom that sees one of the teachers like looking at another girl, and she's like, "No, this is
Something
for them."
Yeah.
This is like, so you're trying to tell me that it's not just the cop, but it's also the teachers in there that are also looking at all these girls and whatnot. It's like, come on, guys.
Creep fest.
Like, is everybody that fucking horny? Come on. So yeah, now we get to the second good part. I'll let Aaron take this away because this is a very funny funny happening, and I'll just let him write out for the rest of it because I unfortunately don't have notes for it because I thought I finished this movie. I have seen this movie before, guys. I just didn't write down the rest of the notes, so I'm sorry.
All good. All right. So then we get another couple trying to sneak away from the festivities. We got Jude and Slick. And so they sneak on out. They go out to the back of his van. They're chilling. They're making out. Apparently, it's kind of insinuated that they've had sex already, like at that. And then they just like he steps out. He's like, "I'm gonna smoke a joint." So anyways, so after they're outside talking, smoking, and they end up setting up a blanket and stuff like that, I think, over in the woods.
Yeah, they're like, we want to go to the shoreline, but they're nowhere near the shore.
Yeah, they're just in the fucking bushes. But they're making out, and then she's like, "Oh, I want to go back into the van. Someone's out here." So they go back into the van. And they smoke some more weed. So after a few minutes or so, the back doors bust open. They're chilling. The mass killer takes that same mirror shard and stabs Jude in the neck.
Dude, like, it's really brutal too because you know it's coming. There's a lot of build up to this. It's a lot of suspense because we see him. We kind of get like his POV camera with him being like in the bushes, watching them going back and forth. And you're like, when's it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen now? Is it gonna happen now? Is it gonna happen now? And you're like, oh, come on, stop dicking me around. And then when it happens, you're like, shit.
It happens fast, yeah. So then Slick sees this happen, obviously, in the back of his van. Then he jumps in the van, goes after him, who he kind of pushes him off. He falls out of the van. He starts the van and attempts to run him over.
He puts up a good fight, dude.
Oh, this fucking killer. He's like jumping all over the place and like hanging onto the side of the fucking car and shit.
Like opening up doors and...
But, yeah, so this guy like jumps out, rolls out of the way. He ends up grabbing onto Slick through the window. And he's like hanging on the side of the van as he's like driving in circles, doing
Props
donuts.
to the stunt guy, honestly.
Right? So he's trying to get away, and the guy's hanging on the side. After spinning around, he ends up jumping off, and Slick and the van ends up going over a cliff and goes kaboom.
Car number 2.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even drop from that far.
I know, it's just kind of like
it's like classic like action.
a delay too. It's like
yeah. Classic like action like explosions and stuff from like action movies. Like I wish I had just like cars to do that with. Just go somewhere, get a permit, and just blow up a car because it looks fun.
Right?
But they did it twice in this movie, and it's crazy. I mean, Slick's is way better than Leonard's, but still.
Right. But yeah. So then after that all goes down, Jude and Slick are dead. And the
I really like them too. God damn it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Jude seemed like she was like the more like she's just kind of trying to fit in and be part. You know, they all we all know what high school was like. You know, everybody's just trying to fit in.
Unfortunately.
But so the killer ends up back at the school with an axe now. He decides to follow Wendy, or they. We don't know who.
Yeah. Don't know yet.
Yeah. He ends up following Wendy out of the gym to the bathroom, and she's putting on her makeup. She's fixing herself up, and the lights just turn off. He attacks her with an axe, of course. And then she ends up getting away. He chases her through the high school. They're going through classrooms and like.
Yeah. I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. She's hiding in like a biology room behind like a counter. He's walking by, or they. I keep saying he, but it's kind of insinuated that most of the killers
Are
he's.
dudes.
Yeah. You would be able to tell if it was a chick, but
Yeah.
not to sound sexist or anything, but anyways, they're kind of like poke in the door and through the window in the door, doesn't see anything, walks by. She ends up like
I'd be shitting myself, to be honest.
I know, right? She's poking over the counter. I thought maybe he saw her at first.
Yeah.
When I first watched it, and so she ends up making noise, and he comes busting through the door and sees her. Continues to chase her through classrooms.
I mean, honestly, if anybody deserves it, it's Wendy.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's being chased through school by a madman with an axe. It's
always an axe. It's either an axe or a machete
or something. But they're going through the hallways where all the lights are off. Workshop. She almost gets away. But eventually the killer ends up finding her, and when she discovers Kelly's body in a linen closet, she screams stupidly. He finds her, comes in, and he axes her to death.
I never understood that. Like, I understand this is a horror movie and people are gonna get scared and whatnot, but when you know you're being chased and you need to hide, why are you screaming? I know you're filled with adrenaline and you probably can't control everything, but like the one thing you need to try to control is how fucking loud you're being. Right. If you want to get away,
be around people,
quiet.
Be quiet, yeah.
Like, come on, like, learn.
Horror 101.
Yeah. That would be an awesome thing that we should do, honestly.
Oh yeah, just look for like peculiar situations in movies and just how we would.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh guys, that's a really cool spin-off thing that we should do. Horror 101.
Keep your ears out.
Yeah. That would be so fun.
That would be fun.
Let me know if you guys would want that.
Yeah, that sounds
really fucking fun to do.
Horror 101. It would be like a lesson on horror.
Like what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, I like that actually a lot.
Maybe we can like add that into one of these
like
as
interpret it into but yeah, so back to prom night. She's axed to death. Then we cut back to the prom, and McBride, he's told by another police officer. He's on the phone, I believe. Or they come up to him. I can't remember because I
think it's on the phone.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah.
I could be wrong too.
I do remember him talking on the phone at one point, but I can't remember if the cops came in or not. But that's not super important.
No. We just know he gets information.
Yeah, he gets information from another cop that Murch was caught, Leonard Murch, and he was several miles away from town. So
what a surprise!
He's like, and then he's like, shit, people are still being killed, but this guy isn't around. So he's like, fuck. He's on the.
First of all, I gotta know if this guy knows that people are getting killed right now, right?
Yep.
What is he doing?
I know, he's just standing at the front of the vibing,
looking at other girls' asses. Is he out there on the dance floor dancing? Like, yeah, people being killed, but this is a great time.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh, I just imagine him on the dance floor,
right?
With a girl
doing the boogie.
Oh my god.
So he leaves. And then Kim ends up looking for her dad. But he's nowhere to be found because he's about to announce prom king and queen. As he's like the not the host but the chaperone. But like I said, he's nowhere to be found because he's supposed to be doing that. So another teacher ends up deciding to do it himself. And then meanwhile backstage, Nick and Kim are getting ready for the announcement or their dance and all that stuff. And then Nick is grabbed by Lou's gang, and he ends up taking like his suit and his crown and dressing up to be prom king. So then our killer sees this. He sees Lou with the crown, thinking it's Nick. He comes up from behind him and decapitates him with an axe, and his head goes flying through the curtain.
Yes, I remember this one very, a lot, just because of how.
That's one of my favorite scenes.
Just how great the special effects are in these movies, man. It's so good.
Yeah.
I really wish. I mean, there are a lot of people that are bringing back like practical effects, and obviously they're still using CGI, but they're trying to do a little bit more practical and a little less CGI, which
Yeah.
I'm all for.
Oh,
But we've talked about this before. Like, we're not gonna like hate on CGI because I mean it's a
because it has
tool.
its place, you know.
It's a tool. Like anything. Like
But
sometimes what you think of,
you can't
you
really
can't do it, and it's easier to do it
with a computer.
with a
Yeah.
computer because you can program it and you can do a lot more with that. So I understand that.
Speaking of practical effects, though, I finally watched Psycho Goreman. The
Yes, it's a
practical effects
great
were great
movie.
in that movie.
It's a great movie.
I loved it.
You need to watch The Void next because
The
the guy
Void.
who did The Void is the person who did that
Well,
movie.
okay.
That's a good movie too. It's
But-
very dark.
Yeah. Yeah, I started watching Mandy the other night too with my friend Joe.
Mandy's very
With
good.
Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
We got like halfway through. I dozed off, ended up leaving. I was like, well, we'll finish it next time.
Yeah, it's very good. These are all really good movies you guys should watch.
But anyway, so he decapitates Lou. His head goes flying through the curtains, rolls up on the catwalk just perfectly, facing the whole crowd. People see this, they start panicking, freaking out. They're like, shit! Ah! Everyone's running around trying to escape, and there's just pandemonium everywhere. Of course, somebody just got fucking decapitated. So
It gives you a lot of like Carrie vibes too.
yeah, it does. That's kind of where, like, before I started watching it, I thought that's kind of where it was gonna be going, but
Yeah.
and then the killer ends up knocked out when his axe gets stuck in a fuse box, so the power also goes out.
Idiot.
So Kim ends up finding Nick. He's tied up and he's knocked out. She frees him, and they try to get out of there and escape. The killer, he gets up. He gets back, shakes it off, and he realizes he
Good
fucked
stamina
up.
on this guy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just like how vigilant and just on the go
Oh,
this
I know.
person is. I wish I had that kind of energy. Like, yeah, I just got knocked out. Woo! Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's do it again, man. Let's go.
I know.
Like, damn.
Like,
Give me some of
fucking-
that.
Yeah. So he gets up and going. He realizes he fucked up. He ends up blocking the exit and attacks Nick and Kim. But he only wants to kill Nick. He doesn't. So he doesn't give a shit about Kim because she had nothing to do with the situation.
I mean, like, it's a good thing that this guy's is not just killing random people.
Yeah.
But it's
he's got
also
a
not
reason.
good that he's killing people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Don't
he
kill people,
definitely, definitely has a reason why he's doing it because like you fucking killed somebody, but also what are you doing? You're
Yeah.
not really helping it. You're just, I feel like making it worse.
Yeah. But yeah, so Kim, she's trying to save Nick, and after they kind of fight and struggle a bit, Nick and the killer, that like I said, they're fighting, they're rolling around doing a thing. Kim ends up hitting the killer in the head with an axe, with the same axe.
Hey, Barely, what's going on, dude?
What up, dude? Thank you for the whole new setup. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, like seriously.
It's
Sorry, guys.
fucking
We're going on
amazing.
pause just for a second because the amazing Barely Lethal who did everything for us is in the chat with us right now. But yeah, I mean, if you want to rearrange anything, go right ahead. I mean, this works good because I'm probably gonna wind up like where we are. I'm probably gonna put something else underneath it. Like I wanted to put like one of the
covers,
the posters underneath, but I just didn't fit it right. But yeah, if you want to like rearrange anything, go right ahead, man. All right, Aaron, go ahead. Sorry, guys.
You're good. So she ends up she hits him with the axe and looks into his eyes and kind of realizes a familiar look.
It's all good, man.
So, and then she realizes who it is. So he ends up stumbling away and running outside where there's the police. Everybody's got their guns pointed, surrounding the building. He's running around. He's like, and they're ready to shoot.
Oh man,
But,
I'd be scared as shit if I had that many guns pointed at me.
yeah.
Any gun, honestly, but like a whole like police squadron just like aiming at you. Fuck.
Yeah. That's scary as shit. But they're about to open fire in this motherfucker, and then Kim comes running out, and she's like, "No, don't shoot, because she realizes She knows who it is.
Mm-hmm.
He falls down. She runs to his side. And it turns out to be her twin, Alex. Um, so she holds him. And he ends up telling her that Nick and his friends were the ones who killed their sister, Robin. She's holding him as he starts to die from his head wound.
Yeah.
Which, can we talk about how like minor it looked, like compared to like he just took a fucking axe to the head, but he's got a little like blood right here.
I mean, that's the case with like everything. It's like the victims always get it worse, and the killer gets nothing.
Yeah, right. He's
Or
a tough
very, very
motherfucker.
little.
I mean, but yeah. So he's dying in her arms. Nick walks outside and sees her crying as she's continuing to hold her dead brother in her arms, and then we end prom night right there.
Mm-hmm. I think the remake goes a little bit more into like what happens after, but the remake it's not as
The
good.
remake's never as good.
I
As
mean, we
everything.
got to do at some point just a whole month of remake movies or
Yeah.
something. But
do like Rob Zombie Halloween and shit.
oh, we got a lot of hate for that. But I'm looking forward for that hate. But yeah, this movie is very fun. If you guys haven't seen Prom Night, the original Prom Night, please go and watch it. It's got amazing character building, and especially if you like Jamie Lee Curtis, she does a really good job in this. This is pretty much fresh right off of Halloween, like 2 years later, and I'm pretty sure she did a movie before this, but I don't think it was The
I'll have
Fog.
to look at her like
Yeah, if you want to pull up, we look at the Rotten Tomatoes and all that good stuff. We'll go over how much this movie made and whatnot. Aaron's always our trusty
information guy.
info dude. But yeah, that was pretty much all. The movie Prom Night
She
and
did
everything.
children's books too.
I think so. Yes.
Huh.
Jamie Lee Curtis has done a lot of shit.
She's a Jamie of all trades.
Jamie of all trades. I like that.
All right, prom night. Rotten Tomatoes. My prom wasn't too bad though. I had fun, but
I had mine at Gillette Stadium, and
Oh,
it was
shit.
really bad though.
mine was a canoe club in
Oh,
West
no,
Bridgewater.
that's the remake.
Oh.
Oh, dude. All right, so we just wait. So we pulled up. We just typed in Prom Night Rotten Tomatoes, dude. The tomato meter for the remake is 7%, and audience is 38%.
Wow. That
Yes.
didn't do too well.
No, it's very bad.
All right, prom night, 1980.
Yes, that's fine. I imagine that the 1981 is a lot more than 7%. Let's see. If it's still 7%, I'm gonna be very upset. People don't know good movies.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that's
Alright,
better. 50% for
50% of tomato meter.
still audience score is pretty low. 34%. People don't know good movies, man.
Yeah.
They don't like build up. They want
I like a nice slow burn once in a while though.
they want you to go straight to the point, especially if it's a slasher. They don't want to have any kind of backstory. They just want to see kills. And that's probably why the audience score is very low, and also probably why the tomato meter is pretty low. But definitely better than a remake.
Yeah,
Tell
I
you
always
that.
get their preferences with movies, you know. Like I said, I like a nice slasher that's, you know, like just full of like
Mhm.
blood and, you know, as much as anybody, but
Yes.
you gotta watch a nice slow burn once in a while that like I said we were saying earlier with the character development and,
Exactly.
you know,
and
you need that. It adds to the story.
yeah, because there's like what 5 or 6 main characters in here, and they take a long time for you to get to know those 5 or 6
But then
people.
you like do know them, and then when they're fucking gone, you're like, oh shit.
Especially like Kelly, I feel so bad. Like this girl didn't even want to do what she was doing, and got killed for doing something she didn't want to do.
Yeah, right. For
You
somebody
know.
else's like fucking idea or mistake, you know,
Yeah.
she paid the price. But
All right. How much did this movie make?
let's see. You know, just Google box office.
Yeah, might as well.
I just realized I was in like all caps.
Whoa! Is
Alright.
that?
That's 1980.
Wow. Okay,
What?
so this, how much was it made? The budget.
It's 1.5 mil.
Okay, so they definitely made. I'd probably say some profit off it. So, 1.5 million
And they
for the
made-
budget of it, and it made 14.8 million.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, I would say, for 1980. I mean, that's a very high budget. I thought this was more lower budget than it was.
But it had Jamie Lee Curtis in it, so
Yeah, at this point, she probably was a little pricey.
people knew who she was after Halloween came out, and they're like, oh, well, so
yeah, exactly.
they're probably like, you know what, we'll give them a little more budget if they can get her.
But yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I want $14.8 million.
I know, right?
I want $1.5 million.
I'll take any amount of fucking money.
That's great. But I think that's pretty much all that we have on prom night. We're probably gonna take a quick break, and then we'll come back and start Wolf Cop. Is there anything you want to add to this, Aaron? Like for your first time seeing this movie, and like what can you take away from this movie? Is there anything like life lessons or anything that you would?
Don't kill people.
Don't kill people. Don't be assholes. Don't bully.
And if you do, come clean.
Yes,
Just watch prom night.
Dude, fucking
Somebody
6 years. 6 years of holding on to that.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
I mean,
I would have called the police right away. I was like, fuck you guys, I'm calling.
I have to give Nick props though, because he wanted so hard.
He wanted to help. To
say something to Kim, and he also wanted to help. But, like he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know.
Yeah.
But like he was the best. Well, Kelly was pretty good too. Jude was very wild.
Yeah.
And obviously Wendy. But Nick was the best, I would have to say.
None of them are innocent, though. That's
yeah,
for sure.
100%. I mean, I feel like he didn't want to be a part of what was going on in the first place.
Like I said, everybody wants to fit in at that time in their life. You know, everybody's just trying to do what they can to.
Exactly.
So, get along with everyone, but.
Yes, but we will be back. Give us like about 5 or 10 minutes just for us to get up and stretch, and we will be back
for
with
part 2 of our double feature.
Yes, of Wolf Cop.